Welcome back to our channel. Today's episode is going to be epic. We are going to detail everything that was happening in Europe in the 5th century after Christ. This period marks the end of the Western Roman Empire and the emergence of barbarian kingdoms, as we see in this fascinating map. But before we start, if you have not yet watched the previous episodes, it is better to go check them out so you do not get lost. Starting around 400 after Christ, the already weakened Western Roman Empire faces internal and external pressures. Problems with the borders become increasingly serious, and barbarian peoples begin to invade the entire territory of the empire, coming mostly from the north. It seems that it was not a good idea to try to invade their territories in the past, even though all this chaos could not have been avoided. Terms like barbarism and vandalism emerge because of this period, as a way of describing these peoples in a negative way, and they are used even to this day. In 405 after Christ, Saint Jerome completes the Vulgate, the Latin translation of the Bible, strengthening Christianity amid the decline of paganism. Between 406 and 407 after Christ, a coalition of barbarians, including Vandals, Suebi, and Alans, crosses the frozen Rhine in winter, invading Roman Gaul en masse, taking advantage of the climatic and military chaos, which begins the disintegration of the western provinces. In 407 after Christ, the Roman legions are withdrawn from Britain to defend the continent, leaving the Britons vulnerable to Pictish, Scottish, and Saxon invasions, which paves the way for the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes to dominate the island. In 408 after Christ, Emperor Honorius executes Stilicho, further weakening the Roman defenses. In 409 after Christ, the Vandals, Suebi, and Alans cross the Pyrenees and enter Hispania, plundering and settling, with the Suebi founding the kingdom of the Suebi. In 410 after Christ, the Visigoths led by Alaric sack Rome for the first time in centuries, a symbolic shock that shakes the Roman world, although it does not completely destroy the city. Pagans blame Christians for abandoning the ancient gods. In 418 after Christ, the Visigoths, now Roman allies, receive lands in Aquitaine, in the south of Gaul, forming the base of the kingdom of the Visigoths that would expand to Hispania, as seen on the map covering much of the Iberian Peninsula. Around 429 after Christ, the Vandals under Genseric crossed to North Africa, capturing Carthage in 439 after Christ and establishing the kingdom of the Vandals, a naval power that threatens the western Mediterranean. In 430 after Christ, Saint Augustine dies during the Vandal siege of Hippo, leaving a crucial theological legacy for European Christianity. Already in 441 after Christ, the first Saxon revolt against the native Britons occurs in Britain, led by Hengist and Horsa, intensifying the Anglicization of the region. In 455 after Christ, the Vandals practice vandalism. They sack Rome for 2 weeks, taking treasures and Empress Licinia Eudoxia, accelerating the imperial decline. And then, in 476 after Christ, the Germanic general Odoacer deposes the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustus, marking the official end of the Western Roman Empire. Odoacer sends the imperial insignia to Constantinople, recognizing the Eastern Roman Empire, that is, the Byzantine Empire, as nominal sovereign. In the following years, the Burgundians consolidate their kingdom in the southeast of Gaul, after settling there around 443 after Christ. Clovis first assumes the throne of the Salian Franks, unifying Frankish tribes and expanding the kingdom of the Franks shown on the map, covering much of northern Gaul. In 486 after Christ, Clovis defeats the last Roman governor in Gaul, Syagrius, at the Battle of Soissons, ending the Roman presence in the region. In 493 after Christ, Theodoric the Great, king of the Ostrogoths, conquers Italy from Odoacer, founding the kingdom of the Ostrogoths that dominates the peninsula, as illustrated on the map. In 496 after Christ, Clovis converts to Catholic Christianity after the victory at the Battle of Tolbiac, a turning point that allies the Franks with the Roman Church, distinguishing them from other Arian kingdoms such as the Visigoths and Ostrogoths. In the Balkans and East, the Gepids established their kingdom around 450 after Christ and 500 after Christ, while Slavs begin migrations to the south, occupying new large areas that can be seen on the map. In the north, Balts maintain isolated territories, and remaining Huns, such as Kutrigers and Sabirs, pressure the eastern borders. Finally, around 500 after Christ, the Battle of Mons Badonicus in Britain halts the Saxon advance, possibly involving the legendary figure of Arthur, temporarily stabilizing the Britons. This century sees the emergence of the Lombards in Pannonia, a prelude to the kingdom of the Lombards, and the Byzantine Empire under Anastasius I consolidates the East. Thus, from 400 to 500 after Christ, Europe transforms from a unified Roman Empire into a mosaic of Germanic kingdoms, as in this map, paving the way for the Middle Ages. Thank you so much for time traveling with us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to leave a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to get notified when the next episodes are released. See you in the next one.